Nearly 40% of eligible voters did not submit ballots during the 2020 presidential election. From a lack of information to trouble understanding complicated rules and regulations, voters are faced with several barriers that often make it difficult to navigate the electoral process.
There are two different schools of barriers to voting in our country. One is based on social barriers. People don't feel connected to the process or their elected officials. People in their community don't ask them if they want to vote or want to register to vote. And also, there's a movement to create distrust across our country and our electoral system. Then there's systemic and process-based barriers that exist because voter information is siloed across state websites and county clerk's offices, and it's very hard to learn how to vote, when to vote, and what the security measures are for casting your ballot. No one wants to come to vote or prepare to vote and not know what they're doing. That includes how you ask for your ballot, what identification you need to bring, where do you go vote. We are in a period where polling places are changing all of the time. They're being taken out of transient Black and brown communities at a higher rate than anywhere else in the country. We also know that voter ID really prohibits a lot of people from voting, whether or not they have a valid ID or not. And these challenges turn people off from the process.
Whether it's a person with a disability facing obstacles, a military member overseas, or someone who doesn't have the resources, many underrepresented groups still face barriers to exercising their democratic right to vote.
Over the past couple decades, Americans have been steadily losing confidence in our electoral process. A recent ABC News poll actually found that just 20% of the public says it's very confident in our elections. One reason for this is that our voting systems are antiquated, really lagging behind modern tech that digital natives are accustomed to. In the 2020 election and its aftermath, we actually saw these voting systems be called into question. And unfortunately, without transparent, verifiable, and easily auditable voting systems, it's really hard to combat this distrust and misinformation.
Given the fragmented nature of election administration, it is very challenging to get all voting-related rules, requirements, and research into one place. As such, voters have had to turn to their local election office to access this type of information.
It can be really challenging to find the voting rules and requirements that apply to you because in the US, elections are run on the local level, meaning each jurisdiction does things slightly differently and voting information is siloed. And so there's no national clearinghouse where each voter can go to get their election information.
Now, innovations in technology are helping to make voting more inclusive and secure for everyone.
Technology can help restore trust in the electoral process by leveling the playing field and providing equal access to information and participation to everyone, regardless of their circumstance. Some specific ways that we do this is fighting apathy by providing easy access to unbiased information, and 2, reducing the barriers to participation through inclusive and accessible systems. So Voterly is a civic engagement tool that's freely available for everyone. It provides information about candidates, representatives, and our political system as a whole. We created Voterly in order to modernize the way people access this sort of information. Many tools on the market today still present political information as long-form, in-depth research. And while this adds a lot of value for those with adequate time to go through it, we recognize many Americans today are used to getting their information in more concise, smaller bits over time.
Centralizing each state's upcoming elections, deadlines, and requirements, Voterly takes the guesswork out of voting and provides a space where users can research candidates and measures that will be on the ballot.
Voterly is unbiased, fact-based, and nonpartisan, and it takes data from multiple public sources and combines it together along with our own systems analysis into one tool that's easy to navigate and easy to use for everyone. It has options like our smart ballot and politician profiles, and it shows how politicians may rank against specific issues.
Offering a secure, inclusive, and verifiable way to cast ballots remotely, VotingApp modernizes voting.
VotingApp is a remote accessible voting system, more commonly referred to as mobile voting. So it's a new modern system designed to allow people to be able to vote from anywhere, accessibly and with full security and privacy. And we started from the ground up with a few key principles of our system. First, it had to be inclusive. Second, it had to be tamper-proof and provide end-to-end verifiability. Third, it had to have the same level of privacy that any of our current systems today have. And fourth, we had to be completely transparent. When an election is over, we have to be able to publish a data set, unencrypted, that has all the information and record of everything that happened during the election so anyone can verify it. So by having the opportunity to reimagine the system from the ground up, we're able to devise and invent a set of data integrity and encryption protocols that has a level of transparency and security greater than anything on the market today while still maintaining that voter privacy. Some voters traditionally had a very hard time participating, whether it's their location or it's a disability or they can't get the time off work. They're now all going to be able to have equal access to participation in our democracy.
In the future, technology will only continue to make the voting process more accessible, transparent, and verifiable for everyone.
2020 is going to have a lasting impact on the way we think about elections. Voters experienced what it was like to use convenient options outside of a polling place, and they're going to demand that those continue. Technology has already transformed almost every aspect of our daily lives, from the way we shop for groceries to the way we access healthcare and pay our bills or taxes. As a former elections director, I witnessed firsthand how technology can transform the voting process and help remove barriers to voting. I also think 2020 shook our faith in our democracy, and technology has the ability to help restore that by empowering voters to verify for themselves that their ballot was cast as they intended.